What's up, guys? Today we are heading to Hikatalo, one of the most touristy spots now in Porthcawl for people who want to go to the sauna, wellness, and catch up with a good mate, Will. So over the next couple of weeks I'm going to be sharing more of the things that I do to help myself grow, build some self-care, what actual is self-care, you know, and how we do it. It's not just blasting yourself in the gym all the time. It's multiple avenues what you can do, as you know, with some of the things I do with the journaling, with eating better, with meditating. These are just little things that I do that all compound to me being more centered, more dialed in, and at the end of the day prioritize myself. But this has been a really big one for me. So every Friday morning we do a sea dip and we go to the sauna. I've already gone this morning to the sea. I'm going to head to the sauna later now today, because it's lighter. At 6:30 in the morning it's pitch black, and there's no chance of me catching any footage at the moment as we go into the winter. So it is 11 a.m. in Sandy Bay. We're just heading past the high tide right now, and yeah, I'm gonna have a little bit of a chat with Will. We're gonna do a bit of a sauna, and we're going to get into the sea. So let's see how it all goes. See what it did? Let's see how the sea goes. And we'll go from there. What's going on, guys? One of the biggest things I'm going to be sharing over the next couple of weeks is one of the things that I do every week that improves my wellness, improves my mindset, and one of the blessings I've got where I live in Porthcawl is I've got this legend next to me, Will.
It's been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure as well, man. And since you've been in the area of Porthcawl, you've really been on one. You've been on a journey, impacted so many people.
Have I aged?
Yeah, let's not talk about that one. Nah, you're looking good. He's not bad for 50.
Yeah.
But
Sauna has anti-aging properties.
But one of the things I want to talk about today, though, is the biggest point is that this man has blessed us with some saunas in the area. I know he's not stopping, but one of the biggest things that I love in between my busy schedule, clients, you know, generally working with people on a day-to-day basis, is making sure that I fill my cup up. And there's a lot of things people talk about now as self-love, you know, filling your own cup up, and it's not always maybe smashing yourself in the gym. I think it's other avenues, like I've talked about before, with the journaling and things like this. But one of the biggest things, though, for me is the sauna. And we're going to talk about Hikatalo today. So I'm blessed to have Will next to me. I count Will as a good friend now from our own journeys. We're very, I'd say, two driven people that kind of better each other whenever we talk. Sure. We're always seeing.
Yeah, we always have good convos.
Yeah. So what I want to talk about, Will, I'm going to hand you over the mic as well, mate.
Let's do it.
Yeah, and we'll walk and talk about that.
Yeah, let's go for it, man.
With Will, man, Will, you've started this journey. I know it hasn't started just a year ago. Where has the journey stemmed with you?
So on the 8th of November, which is in a couple of days, we'll be 1 year old. Hasn't been a straightforward journey at all, both on a personal level and even a business level as well. But this was inspired by a Finnish guy that I met in a sweat lodge in Mexico. So I was working in the tech sector for 13 years, selling software, and very high pressured environment. I also had some trauma behind me as well, and I think a combination of all those things kind of led to a burnout and a bit of a breakdown. So I went travelling, packed everything in, decided to hit the road, do a little bit of soul searching, and it led me to a sweat lodge in Mexico where I met Santre, a Finnish guy, and he just inspired me loads by telling me about his sauna culture. And since then I've just been on this mad sauna journey. I ended up doing over 70 in 14 different countries while on my travels, and I knew that when I did all that and I took hints of every single experience, I wanted to bring it back home. So yeah, like I said, a year old. It's built a lovely little community around it in both locations. We've got some exciting things in the pipeline for next year.
Amazing.
And I've made some really, really, really good friendships through this as well. So.
It's amazing to hear all of these things. It's quite mad as well for yourself that you've kind of done a full 180 or 360, however, where you've gone from the tech life to then the going to Mexico, traveling, and then hitting X amount of saunas in that period. What was the calling to do that, though? What was the...
I was totally lost. Lack of purpose. Really, really lost, actually. Yeah. Especially, sometimes I look back at pictures and think, gosh, it just reminds me of how I felt in that moment. Yeah, it's just, it's a lifestyle change, if anything. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not on the salary that I got in my fancy tech job or whatever, but it's the lifestyle. Do you know what I mean? It's the people around me. It's being outdoors. It's getting to, sauna most days, and that's what it's all about for me. And I think, we impact this in two ways. Of course, it's a business. Yeah. We have to, measure KPIs and revenue, etc. But I also measure impact as well. And as long as we're having a positive impact, that's all that matters to me. So yeah, no, we're on to a good thing. For sure. sure.
You've just said as well, though, like, you know, it's not just been a year since you've been doing it, but so this sauna, if we can flip around right now, let's turn it around.
Yeah.
This sauna Hikatalo right here.
The OG.
The OG. It's been 1 year, it's been open now, but it's not just been one sauna now. It's kind of transformed into 2,
Yes.
3 coming.
Yeah. So,
What's the plan, man?
So yeah, this one's been going a year. That wasn't a straight process in itself, because as a lot of people who will probably watch this will know, this was involved in an accident. We were actually meant to open on the 17th of October.
Yeah.
Had a little, hiccup on the motorway,
Yeah.
but it got there, and it's looking great. Then we opened Rest Bay in May. That's been going great as well. Very different experience. I would say that one's more tranquil. This is more social.
Yeah.
And then next week also I'll be travelling to Ireland, where we've had a sauna bespokely made, and we're going to be placing that sauna right beside this one for the next couple of months as well, which I'm really excited about. So it's going to be good. So we're going to go from 10-person capacity here in Sandy Bay to then 20. So it's going to be good. Yeah.
Busy man, this guy. Don't stop.
I know. It's it's not always a good thing, but
what type of sauna is this? I know there's, you got your infrared, you've got your wood fires, you've got your
electrics.
What is this type of?
So this is an authentic wood-fired sauna. So basically the stove's imported from Finland. We use kiln-dried logs to kind of like, power it essentially, and get to that heat that we wanted to. We operate it between, I'd say, about 80 to 100 degrees.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think what's really nice here at Sandy Bay in particular is that everyone's built up their tolerance levels quite nicely.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's we pour water on the rocks, or do löyly as they call it in Finland, about 3 times during the session. So we make it a real personal experience as well. Our ethos here is that we want people to experience warmth outside the sauna when they arrive and when they leave, and proper heat when they're inside. So that's become the golden rule.
That's awesome, bro. I'm excited, and the biggest thing though is I've noticed from this sauna is it's helped put a platform not just for myself and my community, for many others of, you've got the soul searchers, you've got the lads and dads that come here, you've got. There's many others.
There's many groups now.
There's the blue tits ladies group as well. It's amazing, and the biggest thing as well, it's actually brought my family closer. So Fridays, mum comes every Friday morning. We sea dipping and 25 others. But I suppose what I've noticed about the sauna, though, it's not just a sauna where people just go in there and just get hot. It's actually built a lot of connection.
There's a huge social connection element to this. Do you know what I mean? You're sitting in there half naked, you're sitting with strangers sometimes, and you'd have conversations that you'd never normally have anywhere else. We used to, in the likes of pubs, churches, all these other social places that are now kind of I would say dying off, but things are changing. You know what I mean? People's habits are changing, and I think this is a new place for people to socialise. You know what I mean? And sometimes I walk in there to do a löyly when I'm working, and you can kind of see that magic happening. You know what I mean? The connection between strangers and stuff, and it's really nice. That's, I would say, having a good sweat, experiencing proper löyly is lovely. Yeah. But my passion also lies in bringing people together, and I think that's what's going to keep me going.
Love that, man. So what have we got set up for this, today now, for the next hour? What are we going to be doing?
So we've got a high tide behind us here, or it's approaching high tide, so lovely conditions to dip. I would say the water temperature is probably around 13 degrees now, might even be 12, so it's got that nice bite. And then we'll start with a dip, we'll head into the sauna, and we'll experience good heat and proper steam. Let's do it, man.
Let's do it. All right, I'm here with one of the staff members here at Hikatalo. Beth, how you doing? Why are you super shy for now? Normally you're the most chirpiest, and all of a sudden.
Oh, God.
All I want to ask you, Beth, is now you see, 10 people every hour come through the sauna in and out, right? What is the difference you see people that come in and how they leave the sauna?
Oh, it's massive. I think there's just that instant serotonin release. People are buzzing. They've just had a really good conversation for an hour. It's like communal aspect of the sauna, bringing people together. And it's nice.
Love that. And what got you into this career? Obviously, coming down to Porthcawl doing this, and what kind of got you into the stepping stone of Hikatalo and sauna?
Yeah, I think just looking for a change of pace. Office life was never going to work for me.
Yeah.
So this suits me. I'm really into well-being. And I got on really well with Will. So
nice.
It's something I'm passionate about.
He's a good bloke, and he's very personable, he's very chatty, and he just generally cares about people, doesn't he?
Yeah, definitely.
It's really interesting you said that though, people go from that commercial background and then they just do a full flip into something a bit more that fills your cup up essentially, something that actually brings joy to your life instead of just doing something for a pay rate or an hourly rate. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. I think if you back something as well, I fully back this business and I'm interested in it, so that helps. That's half the battle.
What I've seen a lot of people though, like their confidence is changing. Obviously, people strip off before they get in, not naked, but in the bikinis or swimwear. But you actually see people feeling a lot more confident in themselves. Like it's not this. I from my own experience of seeing people, you don't see people. I don't know. It's a bit of like a weight off their own shoulders. I notice when people come out.
I think it's a safe space.
Yeah.
And creating that sort of container is really important. We chat to everybody, and I think that's part of the job as well, is to make sure people are comfortable to do that as they enter. Yeah.
Sweet. All right. Thanks, Beth. Yeah, 6:30 this morning we've been in, but it's pitch black then, isn't it? So it's kind of hard to kind of replicate what we're doing, and the camera can't see anything. So, all right, brother. We're gonna walk down this way.
Yep,
let's go in. Will, one of the things I want to ask you is, are you surprised of how much this has taken off in Porthcawl?
I think the safe answer to that is yes. I always knew it would do well because I was determined for it to do well, but I didn't realise how much people would take to it, and that's been incredibly rewarding. You know what I mean? This is not easy doing this. No, you know that better than anyone. Doing it religiously every Friday, especially as we're going into these temperatures now.
Yeah.
I'm as big of an advocate as this as I am of my own business.
Yeah.
And these two together, there's a magic in that. But no, it's been incredible to see how people have embraced it all.
100%. One thing as well I've noticed, no matter how many times you go in the sea, you still have this inner dialogue of like, fuck, I'm doing this thing again, it's cold, I don't want to be in there long, and then you leave it, you're going, oh, thank God I did it. So
you always feel better afterwards.
Yeah.
It sounds so cliche, but I'm having that now. I mean, the little voice in my head thinking like, oh, don't really want to be doing this. 10 minutes, you'll see me coming out after. Well, I don't know if it's going to be 10 minutes, but you know what I mean.
I've done my time. We'll do a couple of minutes, and then we're going to go into the sauna for a bit.
There's, it's it's commonly spoken about now, but doing something that's challenging, difficult.
100%.
It's yeah. No, I love this. I really, really enjoy the sea element to it all as well.
Love that, man. All right. So how long are we going to go for?
Oh, just whatever you want.
A couple of minutes.
Yeah.
I'm going to be mindful of the camera with Mike. But hopefully, I don't know how far the radius is, but we'll see anyway. What is the temperature?
12.
12. Alright, let's do this, brother.
Let's go. Ready?
Yeah, man.
Is the mic okay?
Yeah, we'll see now.
It's a nice high tide, eh?
I know, man.
Yeah. About time.
This morning we went, it was choppy.
Yeah.
Real choppy.
Of course, it's Friday, yeah. You've been
I know, bro.
Second of the day, you have
I'm not dunking my head under with this hat.
No.
I'll go under.
I'm going to have to, but
it never gets easier, man.
It doesn't. In fact, it only gets harder.
I know. Well, we're going into the colder season now, right?
Exactly.
Woo.
Yeah.
Oh.
Alright, I'm going to get my head in there.
Alright, brother. Hopefully Bess can get you from there. Fair play. Woo. It never gets easier.
And then all of a sudden the calmness hits you.
Yeah.
You know, like you've had that voice growing up, walking up to this.
I know.
And then all of a sudden you're in the water and it's like,
I know, man. It's beautiful. It's like that. Whatever's going on in your world, whatever stresses or anxieties, it just pulls it back, and you can only focus on one thing in this moment.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely getting colder now, though.
All right, let's walk back. That's enough for now. Good job.
Oh, we can do another one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh. I'm so impressed, man, of how much you've devoted into this and built this. But like now, you've got two coming here.
Yeah. It's. Don't get me wrong, especially lately.
Yeah.
I've been tired because it's been a crazy year.
Yeah.
I am guilty of not looking after myself enough as well, so that's going to be a change that I'm going to be making. I do keep on doing this, obviously, but it's paying off. You know what I mean? So yeah, like I said to you earlier, there's a lot of exciting stuff in the pipeline now. So.
I think the biggest part, like you said, though, is like we go through seasons. We go through seasons where you've got to, unfortunately, put your head down, roll your sleeves up and do the work.
Yeah.
And then you go for, right, now I don't want to burn the candle too much. I've got to pull it back and implement those good things, like you said. But thank God you've got the sauna, you've got the the sea here to do it, because it's kind of like a.
Oh, it's the best
your
office in the world.
It's a daily medicine.
Yeah, exactly.
Natural endorphins, serotonin, all of those things we talk about. It's there for you, and I think
Well, how can I practice? You know, I've got to practice what I preach as well.
keeps you accountable, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah.
It really does. You know. So no, this keeps me in check, and yeah, you know, it's I literally feel like we're only getting started. To be honest with you, there's a lot of stuff that we're working on.
Yeah.
Like you said, third sauna coming here now. Excited about that. It's yeah, it's good.
I love it. You said as well, the mascot Archie earlier. You mentioned it. Everyone knows Archie.
I know.
How old is he?
So he's actually going to be 8 next week as well. So what we're going to do, we're going to celebrate our first birthday of the Sandy Bay sauna, and then we'll also celebrate Archie's birthday on that day as well. But yeah, look, you know, he's actually a huge part in all this. Actually, weird.
Yeah.
You know, it's weird, isn't it? But it's yeah, it's lovely.
Have you got a ratio of men to women? How many more? Is it more of one sex than the other? Or
Do you know what? I was looking at the data. I've been looking at a lot of data because we now have a year worth of data, and you know, I've been putting stuff in front of the banks and all this kind of stuff, and we are at a 60-40 split. So 60% of customers are female, and then 40% are male. We have a really high returning customer rate, and that's something that I keep a close eye on at least every month, because that, you know, that tells us that we're offering a good service. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
So that's something that we keep measuring as well.
Top stuff. So how long are we going to do in the sauna now? I don't know if you can turn the camera over Beth to the sauna. With a look out. To be honest, man, when you get a sunrise in the morning, I know right now it's not a sunrise.
No, but this is good. This is good sauna weather, you know. Epic sunrises on Sandy Bay actually, and good sunsets over Rest.
Yeah.
We're going to do whatever we feel comfortable with. There's a lot of people who will follow protocols and stuff like that, and I think there's something to be said for that.
Yeah.
But here we focus on just doing whatever we feel comfortable with. You know, we might be in there for 10. We could be in there for 20. We'll see how we feel.
See how I feel, top man. Okay. So as you can see right now, we've just done a couple of minutes in the sea. Definitely freezes your bollocks off. But now we're going to head into the sauna, do a little bit of heat, cold and hot and cold therapy, as they say. I absolutely love it. This is my go-to at least every Friday. And as the temperatures get colder, I'll definitely be in here more. But I'm stoked to be doing this now with Will. And we're going to do a bit of a chat in this. Cool. You can give us a little bit of a rundown. Oh yeah, sorry.
No,
Get my feet in. So here we are in the sauna with Liv. And I just want to ask everyone a few questions. We've got a couple of people in here. Sorry, I'm going to show everyone right now. It's middle of the day. Liv, what is one of the key things that you come here for, the sauna? What does it do for you anyway, the benefits?
For me, I think it's time away from like doing stuff. I feel like if I'm sitting at home, I'm always going to be scrolling or like on my laptop, or like the TV will be on, or just something. And I feel like being here, it's time away from all of that, a time that you can just kind of chat away, or just like sit quietly and do something that's not, doing something that's good for you really intentionally.
Amazing, awesome. And how many times a week, I know you said you work here, but how many times a week are you in here actually for yourself?
I aim for 2, usually it's 1.
Yeah.
And I think as the season develops and it gets more into the winter, I feel like it's going to be a lot more. Like, I'm so excited for cold surfs and a hot sauna after.
Nice, awesome. Yeah. Tell you what, do you pay these people that talk so well on camera? Impressive. How long do you try and stay in the sauna for before you go into the sea?
I feel like first stretch 10 to 15 minutes, and then after that, like 10 at a time. I feel like I don't really look at the timer. I try to not look at my watch, just because I think it's just, every day is going to feel really, really different when you're in here. Even between locations, depending on like how hot it is when you've walked in, how much the heating's been on my car, like so many factors change how I feel. So I really just try and like not look at the clock too much.
Well, what advice would you say then for people who are maybe find it daunting to do something like this? They might find it overwhelming, or being in a close proximity with other people. What advice would you say for those type of people?
I think being in close proximity to other people is one that is just kind of, if that's your preference, book a non-peak time, book when the tide's out, you know, book when it's not too busy. But I think if you're worried about like kind of being in the heat and like feeling physically uncomfortable. I even think coming down, hopping in the sauna for 5 minutes, and then just like spending the rest of the time like in the area chatting to the host, whoever's working, and just kind of getting to be a part of the community is going to be a massive, that's going to be a massive kind of mental health benefit as well. Just kind of showing up, and then maybe next time you're in for 7 minutes, and like, yeah.
Love it. So last thing I want to say is, what's one word you could just, if you were to leave the sauna, what would be one word to describe it for you?
I would say probably endorphins.
Go on. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Cheers. So guys, as you can see right now, been for a sea dip, been for a sauna, we've got that out of the way. I'm feeling better. I feel more clearer, I feel more confident in myself, if you say. But the biggest thing is like the conversations you have in there. I'm very lucky today that I've done this today with Will. There's been some amazing people inside as well I've been blessed to interview. But the best thing then obviously is, if you're a coffee fiend like me, you've got just to the right over there next to the Hikatalo, you've got the coffee culture as well, which is a big one for me. If you're a snob like I am, get yourself over there, grow and grind. But yeah, like I said, I think the biggest things in life are not always buying fancy things, getting nice cars, holidays. I think it's just the small things in life, the things that bring joy to your life, bring fulfillment, bring contentment. And that's sometimes getting into the sea, sometimes getting into the sauna. And I just find this a daily ritual. It brings me back to gratitude, brings me back to just a centered area of myself. And I'm not going to try and sound like one of those tree huggers, but I'm just being black and white on myself, what it does for me. It's a place where I can just switch off. If you're like me, you're busy all the time, you've got clients, you're working with people, you're talking to people. Sometimes getting into a little wooden box, if you say, with some fire and some heat and with some wood, it just centers you, switches you off. So guys, definitely give it a go if you're in the area of Porthcawl. Check it out. You got Sandy Bay, you got Rest Bay, but I'm gonna go enjoy a coffee now with Will over there. Let's go. Sauna done, sea dip done. Now let's get another coffee of me. I'm a 2-man coffee person normally, but I'm going, this is my 3rd one today. Brother?
Yes.
Oh mate.
Slice of cake.
No. Trying to eat well at the moment, man. What's your go-to coffee now?
Cortado. Used to be a flat white man.
Why is that? Just less milk?
Yeah, more of a hit.
More of a hit?
But what I am doing though, Christ, when I first started here next door, I'd be smashing the coffee all day. I minimise it now. I don't have as many.
Nah.
Maybe 2.
2. I've had 2 today, but I'm going for 3
Yeah?
at the moment. I'm gonna be shaking bad after this one. What's your go-to, Beth? What's your go-to coffee?
Cappuccino with lion's mane.
Is it?
Lion's mane. Actually, I was thinking about that. Actually,
Let's just see if I can flip this.
But,
So we're at Grow and Grind here. This is a place renowned for its mushrooms, right? The mushroom coffee.
Yeah.
Are the magic mushrooms or just?
They're magic, but they're not psychedelic.
No. That's hell of a. Who's told you to say that, Ryan?
I just came up with
Yeah?
that. I thought of it myself.
Nice, I like that. What type of mushroom powder have you got here?
So we use our Blue Min elixirs, which
Yeah.
blend with the coffee. Our Lion's Mane one is the most popular one.
Is it?
For the brain, we've also got one for like relaxing, and one for the gut and one for the skin. So,
What's your go-to?
Lion's Mane. or
Lion's
cordyceps.
mane, yeah?
Yeah, cordyceps is good as well. It's like a physical energy boost.
Yeah. How many times would you need to take it for it to like see the benefits or the effect?
Lion's Mane, I think it's like the first time you can feel it when you take it. It's like it just sort of puts you in the moment of it.
Nice. And what about the effect of all the cakes? What effects? How long does it take for these to hit you?
Instant joy.
Good stuff. Who's your go-to guy now? Like he's your manager?
Yeah.
Or what is this?
So he manages the team of 9 sauna hosts. That's going to be growing obviously with the more saunas arriving as well. But Reece became manager he joined in February and then started managing the team then from May onwards.
Yeah.
Steve was obviously employee number 1.
Yeah. Do you since you started with number 1, how have you found like not saying you're not hands-on, but in a different position?
Yeah.
How do you manage staff? How do you manage, pulling away from that area, like pulling away and just kind of looking ahead, like working on the business instead of in it as such?
Yeah, it's a funny one. I did a shift myself last Saturday, and I was lighting the stove, and I was sitting there and thinking, "Gosh, I actually really missed this side of it." But you can't do everything, but the goal now is to get back to the sunrises and lighting the stove and stuff like that. But very different challenges now. Scaling the business is it's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah.
Even scaling teams, keeping the standard,
Yeah.
while you're growing. Everything's just changing, but it's a good thing.
To be honest, you've done a lot of businesses in the past. You were actually on Dragon's Den. I know you love hearing about that. I think we talked about it on the podcast before, didn't we?
We did.
What did you learn from that experience, man? That's such a cool experience, by the way. I know it's probably daunting for you.
At the time, it was very.
You're
daunting.
selling yourself to like investors basically in front of you, and you're trying to believe in the product, believe that they, it's a lot of.
Yeah, and my confidence has grown loads since then because of experience. Throughout the journey. But I've had 3 businesses in the past. Pitched one of them on Dragon's Den. And you just learn as you go along. I think back at stuff now with my businesses in my 20s and think, oh my God. You know what I mean? Like,
There's stepping stones, isn't it? It's a part of
it's
it.
all a learning curve, you know what I mean? And it's very satisfying to look back actually and think like, gosh, I've actually learned loads. And working in tech for 12 years, there's a lot of transferable skills there as well. Sales.
Yeah, sales is massive.
Yeah.
I think anyone who runs in business or in business, you're a salesman as well. And you've got to, that's part of creating this amazing
I believe that's one of the
platform.
strongest skills you can have in business. And even last week, met with the bank. I've got to sell my business to them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've got to, I'm very grateful for all the experiences I've had along the way. I don't look at anything as in them being failures or whatever.
No.
They're all just lessons, And
I mean, that's one thing I see as well. Like people who have this perfectionism mentality. Like if you've kind of part of the journey is making mistakes, learning from them, evolving, adapting. If you're always trying to wait for things to be perfect all the time, you never actually really move the needle, do you?
No. And I have. Do you know what? It's funny. I'm 35 now. I'll be going on to 36 next year. And, I've completely overcome this fear of falling flat on my face. I've got no problem with that. It's because I used to be very worried about what other people think and stuff like that, and now I'm just riding this wave. And if I fall flat on my face, I'll get up and I'll try again.
Do you think? Do you think moving away, traveling, work, and other cultures kind of change that perception? Because I do think sometimes, like if we live in a little small town, if you live in a certain area and you stay in a certain area, you have fears of what your neighbours or people down the road or your friends of a friend or other people in the pub, and it holds some people back.
It does. Not everyone has the privilege to go travelling, like I did. But I think we have a guy on the team who is planning on going travelling next year, and he was very open about it. And I said to him, like I say to many others, I think travelling is the best form of education. You know what I mean? I'm not taking away from people who are currently doing their degrees or whatever, but I do really believe that exposing yourself to different cultures, different people, hard experiences while on the road as well. Yeah. Just builds loads and loads of character. I think so.
Did you go to uni?
No.
Thank God, man. I didn't go to uni either.
I didn't. No, I didn't. And look, like I said, all my siblings went to uni.
Yeah.
Not taken away from anyone. I think it shows that you can start something and finish something.
Yeah.
Academically, I am absolutely pants.
Yeah, same, man.
Yeah, absolutely pants.
Mate,
But I think it's you just got to identify what you're good at, what you're bad at, and follow your passion. And this is now my passion, and that's why. Other people go to me and it's like, oh, you need to stop, you need to rest. And I do, 100%. But also, I love doing this every single day. You know what I mean? There's not a day that I get up and think like, oh, it's...
I think that I've been reading this book, and I give it to every man, or every guy who has a bit of alpha and a bit of drive in this. It's the book's called The Way of the Superior Man.
Right.
And it's all about understanding yourself, but understanding a man needs a sense of a purpose, a sense of a drive, and some people tell you need to slow down, you need to do this, you need to do that. I get it, but you've got a kind of a level of acceptance of, all right, I'm an ambitious person. I like to see movement. I like to feel like I'm thriving. I feel like to make movements. If that means that you enjoy business, why
really
beat
do.
yourself up?
I really
why
do.
beat yourself up for doing that then?
I don't like watching... Oh, fuck, man. I don't... Sorry, I shouldn't swear.
That's
I don't remember the last time I had the TV on and watched anything.
Exactly.
I don't like doing those things.
You won't be watching soap operas, will you? You won't be watching soap operas or
no,
EastEnders
no.
or Love Island. I couldn't imagine you on Love Island, man.
Me?
I couldn't imagine it.
No. I do like Married at First Sight.
Do you? Hey, can we sign Will up for that?
Oh my God, imagine it. Oh my God. No, but I just really enjoy doing what I do, and I get my moments where I'm like, oh my God, my battery's low or whatever.
Yeah.
Create healthy habits to recharge and keep going.
Love, man.
But no, we're onto a good thing. I think, like I said, super exciting things in the pipeline. I think what really gets me, what drives me as well, is that I can see how early we are in this culture. So if you look at Germany, for instance, or Eastern Europe, or the Nordics,
Yeah.
you've been to Oslo.
Yeah.
Sauna culture and bathing in general is right up here, and in the UK, it's still like this. And it's on us to educate people and to create experiences that are going to be around for a long, long time. And that gets me very excited. Even talking about it now,
I know. It's like trying to convert people from the pub to the sauna. So how do we?
Well,
you know, like how do you meet people up in the back? Like years ago, we meet at the pub, or still today, meet at the pub, and then with your friends over here in the UK, Ireland.
Yeah.
But I think trying to convert that would be pretty impressive.
Yeah. Well, it's the Irish market. I would say are about 3 to 5 years ahead when it comes.
Is that
to
your
saunas.
flat white, by the way? Is that my? Sorry, wait, Will. Is that my flat white beer?
Yeah. Do you want?
We're going for it. We're going for it. Grabbing this flat white.
There you go. So what were we saying?
We were talking about the converting pub to sauna.
So the Irish market, I was over there recently again last week. They're about 3 to 5 years ahead when it comes to saunas, right? And they've really taken to bathing, especially. So weekends over in Dublin, or even in the weekdays in the morning, the beaches surrounding Dublin and stuff like that, everyone is sea dipping.
Nice.
It's just incredible. And the amount of saunas over there now, there's more than 350 across the Isle, which is incredible as well. And they're classing the saunas as the new pub. You know what I mean? The healthy alternative. And I think the same is happening here on a far slower and smaller scale, but that presents opportunity.
100%.
So,
I'm going to Dublin actually the 22nd of November. What sauna? Is there a good place?
So I would recommend Fad Sale. They have multiple locations across Dublin, really community driven.
Fat Sale, okay.
Started by an incredible guy called Steve Crosby, who I'm speaking to later. Really nice guy. Hotbox in Inchicore, that's another one. They've got a sauna village. That's incredible. And then Helios as well in Dundrum. So I lived in Dublin for 12 years, didn't I? And
you're a bit of a gyppo in the nicest sense, aren't you? Without being rude to the gypsy culture.
I like travelling.
Yeah, he's a traveller, man.
I am a travelling man, but I love the Irish people. When I was over there last week, just to be back there and even hear the Irish accent again and see the city, it's got a very special place in my heart. That I always say to people, it's where I grew up. Even though we've got this perception of growing up means you have to be small, and. But I was 20 when I moved over there. And I feel like that's where I properly grew up.
Proper grew up.
Yeah.
Nice, man.
Yeah, so,
well, I'm excited for you, bro. We'll wrap this up and enjoy our coffees now. I know you're getting a Hikatalo, but for me, man, I'm grateful for. I've said this many times. I tell you behind the camera, but I'm grateful for what you've done to it.
Thank you very much.
You know what I mean, bro?
Thank you.
Planted a seed, but a very good seed.
Thanks, man. Well, I never forget the day I came along to your barbecue. Remember that?
Yes.
In fact, we were sitting on that bench right
just
there
over there
with your brother. And I just came along. I think I heard about the event that you were setting up, and I didn't know anybody here. Anybody, in fact. I just moved here.
Yeah, love it.
And it was very daunting for me to come along to something like that. And so thank you for what you do for the community. Thank you for the support that you've given me with the business as well. Bringing people through sauna on a Friday, exposing them to the cold, the heat, etc. And I always enjoy chatting to you. So
legend, brother.
Legend, mate.
Take care. See ya.